Here we go. Sending it out.
Hello, everybody. It is Sunday. You know what that means. It's another exciting episode, Matinee with the homies. And today, we're going to be talking about the Big Blue Boy Scout. We're going to talk about everybody knows as Clark Kent, but as the world knows him, he is the last son of Krypton, Kal-El. He's also known by Don't Be Gay, Campia, Superman.
All that build up.
Let's go around the horn.
Nothing.
Atomic. How's it going, Atomic?
Yeah, it's going good, man. I can't wait to talk about this. It's gonna be a fun episode today. So let's.
Ronan,
Wait, unlike last night.
vote.
I did. And I vote for Henry Cavill's Superman, who is the best definitive one. And I will burn in the fires of hell for saying that. Anyways, hello, everybody. Y'all know who I am. I'm Ronan the Crusader. And yes, like what Phantom says, we're talking about Big Blue himself, Superman. And we're going to have an awesome and a contentious conversation. I know that because a lot of us here have grown up seeing certain facets of Superman. A lot of us here have also seen different versions of Superman. And I know for a fact a lot of us will come to a general agreement. Some of us may even say, no, I like this. No, I like that. But let's find out and let's get into it.
And coming from planet Krypton himself, Campia.
The Irish Kryptonian.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phantom. Welcome, like he said, everyone. This is the Superman Day. The reason we're doing this, I know Superman Day is actually in April for the comic book. April 18th, I think is what it is. However, this is the week that Metropolis in Illinois has celebrated Superman Week. So Friday is actually the first day. Today is actually the last day. So we wanted to do our honor to Superman because we're all a bunch of comic book nerds and movie nerds. And Superman is one of the iconic ones. So as always, start off with our first question. How did each of you come into Superman? How did you meet Superman? That didn't sound right. Come into Superman. How did you get into the Superman lore?
Pause.
All right, for myself, it was the original Fletcher cartoons. Got to see those first, and then they were re-showing the George Reeves classic Superman 50s television show in black and white on television. Got to watch it. So yeah, it was the Fletcher cartoons and the original George Reeves series.
Were you not there when the comic was written, Phantom?
Fuck you. And I'm the one guy on here that thinks Batman's better than Superman because Batman's the better hero, and he also got starting while he got Batman has been a villain. So yeah,
if you're talking about stories, I disagree. I agree with you. Batman is better. If you're talking about character-wise, I do think Superman's a better character. But having said that, what about you, Tommy?
Oh, so my first interaction and with Superman media was the Justice League animated series, and that was like the peak. It was that or Brandon Routh's Superman, which that one's a hit or miss, but that came out around the time I was born. So, but it's I remember a lot more of the Justice League animated series and Unlimited than I do of really any other Superman around that age, because it's just so iconic, dude. It's one of the best most iconic designs of Superman. You can see that and be like, oh, that's the animated series.
That was a good series. Like it was Justice League was right there at the cusp of after Batman and Superman, and then became the Justice League cartoon, and they like blended the best of both worlds. I agree with you there. Ronan, where's your
good job, Ebola?
Yes, for me, is in a similar vein with AP, since he and I are kind of, even though we are, father and son, technically speaking, we are also close in age as well. I grew up as a millennial, so I grew up watching some reruns of Superman the animated series. as well as Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Mm.
And both of them were really fun shows, especially. And shout out to Nerd Divergent as well, because he and I were having a conversation about Superman last night for hours on end. And we were actually bringing up the scene in Justice League Unlimited when Darkseid had invaded Earth, and Superman himself was giving the World of Cardboard speech, as it's known as. Basically talks about how he'll be very careful, where he goes, what he does, considering how much power he has behind them, and then basically tells Darkseid, since it's just you and me now, let me show you how far I can really go. And
you can take it, big man. You can take it, big man.
Dude, I love that.
Clip
That speech
Somebody
is so
clip that.
badass.
But aside from that, yes, I also did watch the Brandon Routh film as well, with Kevin Spacey being probably one of the best Lex Luthors I'd ever seen. I'm not gonna lie. And
he looked the part. He completely looked the part.
And also, contentiously enough as is, I grew up around this time. I was a teenager around this time. Grew up watching Man of Steel with Henry Cavill playing as Superman, Michael Shannon as General Zod, and I know people have their gripes with the way that Zack Snyder handled the character.
The Lex Luthor casting.
What Lex Luthor casting? What are you talking about? You mean Lex Luthor's son? Is that what we're talking about? Anyways, yes, I know people have their issues when it comes to Zack Snyder. If Zack was just kind of helming the universe the way that James Gunn is, but actually got people who understood the character better to handle it, like Christopher McQuarrie or Brad Bird, then I have a feeling people would be much more favorable to him, especially somebody like Brad Bird, who knows how to do superheroes.
He had Henry Cavill.
Yes, no, but I'm talking, that's the actor, but I'm talking about writers and directors. If you had somebody who was able to handle the character from that specific point, then I feel people would be much more favorable of the character. But putting that aside,
at least go to Donner.
We'll get into
go
that.
to Donner.
We'll
be like,
we'll get into that a little bit.
Go to Donner and be like, get advice from the man that actually made the greatest Superman movies of all time.
And you know what? Let me rip the Band-Aid off right now as well too. I've already admitted it in the green room or green screen. I might be the only one on this panel who has to this day yet to see the Richard Donner films.
And we didn't know that, or we'd have watched one.
Yeah,
no,
we just learned about that literally like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to look for time to watch it throughout this week, just so that way, I could actually have a good understanding of why so many people absolutely love and not idolize, but revere Christopher Reeve as Superman. I've been wanting to watch it, just never had the chance to. But now that we're here actually discussing it, I'll be able to have a good understanding as to why so many people absolutely love Christopher Reeve as Superman. So it'll be fun. This will be a good conversation, guaranteed.
As for me, Phantom, I've kind of similar to you. The Fletcher cartoons were kind of the first thing I probably seen, but to be honest with you, I didn't remember. The first thing I remember really seeing was Richard Donner, Superman 2. And I saw 2 before I saw 1. Watching Superman 2 and just what they did with that was something that I was like, right, what the heck? Because, we were, 78, they said you can, it appears a man can fly or whatever it says. You'll believe
you believe a man can fly.
Whereas,
and it was good.
Well, 2, they took it up a notch. And so the first one I seen was the second Christopher Reeves movie. So it was like, that was something as, your whatever 4-year-old little self, whatever I was just like, whoa. And it made me fall in love with that series because of that. And I went back, like I said, then I started rewatching the Fletcher cartoons.
But which version did you watch? Did you watch the VHS or the television version? Because they were,
it was TV. It was TV.
Yeah. So we were talking about this earlier. It's like the first 2 Donner films have 4 different versions. 4.
Well, 4 for the first movie.
Yeah, 4. So you had the original. Well, the
Pinky
second one had 2. So you had the original that was in theaters. Then you had the TV version that had
ABC cut.
Yeah, the ABC cut. They actually had it where you see Zod killing a guard, and then he breaks one of the crystals that actually starts the events that destroy Krypton, and the trials extended. Then you have the VHS,
the director's cut.
The director's cut. Then you had the VHS cut, which was it actually cut from the original theatrical cut. They took some of it out. So, and then like the second movie, you had like in the second movie, when Superman is going to France to save Lois at the Eiffel Tower, there's a scene, where Superman is flying from Metropolis to Paris. There is a scene in the television version where he flies by the Concorde, and he literally waves at the people on the Concorde as he's flying to France. So, I mean, like, back then, those movies were so unique. And like we were talking about, it's like, first time I ever seen the original Superman, the movie, I went to the theaters and seen it as a kid. And I was like, fucking, wow, this movie was just so good. Even though I'm a huge Batman fan. I'll always be I love Batman compared to Superman. But, like, Reeve, for me, is my Superman. He's my Superman. From my childhood, he is my Superman.
Before we get into that, let me ask you this. Why do you think Superman has lasted so long from 32 or...
Stories. It's the stories.
I wouldn't even... Go ahead.
You got to remember, what was the biggest event in the 80s? The death of fucking Superman. They killed the Man of Steel with Doomsday, and what happened? They got backlash, and they had to bring Superman back to life because the comic book sales dropped. They did the Dawn of the Superman, which was phenomenal. I mean, I had all of them. I had all those comics, right? But to me, it's the comic books. It's the stories that they told. He had a prime role in Crisis. His Elseworld stories. I mean, AP, don't you have an Elseworld story that I fucking recommended to you about Superman? Where he becomes fucking Batman? So, I mean, yeah.
Oh, it's too shiny. Superman 75.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, okay, there it is. The tombstone itself. Here lies Earth's great. Yeah. Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, there it is. Speeding Bullet. Where they literally had Batman. It's Superman. He crash lands in Gotham on the Wayne estate. They adopt him, and literally Batman is Superman. So I mean, fucking love Superman, man.
I think one of the reasons that Superman is so iconic is specifically because, like, it's because of stories in part, but it's also because of the character. It's because of
right.
He's a symbol of hope, and for the longest time, he was a symbol of Americana, and that's what people loved about him.
Well, I mean, what's the saying?
Boy Scout. Yeah.
How's the saying always go? True justice in the American way for him. True. And this is something apparently that I'd also learned as well. The
92 fan.
The 1978 film Superman, I believe, was the last time that technically in any visual sense, it was the last time that they had actually had Superman himself say, "I'm here for true justice in the American way." Because following that, the rest of the time they were either pushing for true justice and for all humanity, or true justice and for a better tomorrow, which is what they were recently trying to do with his son Jonathan Kent. Yeah, exactly, Campia. That's what I think as well too.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. That can be Jonathan Kent's phrase. That can be his phrase. But Clark Kent his phrase is the most iconic one.
Well, the thing is,
Atomic, you gotta remember they made his son gay.
I know.
Okay, putting that aside, the point is that because Jonathan Kent is taking on the mantle of Superman, he should be taking on everything that Superman embodies as well too. That includes true justice in the American way. But again, putting that aside, he is a symbol. Oh God, don't even talk to me about that. Fucking hell, I hated that. When we talk about James Gunn's Superman, I'm gonna really tear into
We
that
all
shit.
have to work.
Like you got,
we'll get to that.
You guys got your gripes about Zack Snyder. I would fucking rip James Gunn a new asshole. But anyways,
he's a Snyder bro. He's a Snyder bro.
I'm not that much of a Snyder bro. I fucking despise Batman v Superman, dude. But anyways,
you're right though. Go ahead.
No, just to really finish it up. He's a symbol. He's definitely a symbol. He stands for so many layers of idealism that we have long since abandoned, honestly. But that's why I think to this day he has still remained as such a popular character. Because as cynical and as jaded as we may become nowadays, people still yearn for that level of sincere idealism. That's what I believe.
I think where it changed with Superman with the whole truth, justice, and the American way is when they did Red Son. Is when that changed. Because they made him where he was, he landed in Moscow. Yeah. He became a communist.
Well, he became a communist, but even so, they still tried to make him some kind of altruistic hero. Where again, he's a good guy, but they try pushing it beyond the whole, concepts of Americana. But
he's who a red-blooded American man, let's be honest, is trying to be.
Right.
He is the goalpost that we are trying to get to, that we will never get to, but we still strive to be honest, try to be sincere, try to be a strong person for everyone around us, trying to protect the ones around us. He's that symbol that we have all, since through childhood, we're trying to get to.
And I'm glad you mention it like that, because again, here's another, just to bring the Zack Snyder stuff into it, and we'll get into it more obviously, but it's just something to bring up now. When you say he's somebody that a lot of us red-blooded Americans are trying to get to and may never get to as well, I also kind of admire Zack Snyder for introducing the more religious, or as you like to say, Campy, strong religious overtones into Superman as well. Yeah.
I am Jesus.
I appreciate it because again, it's kind of a similar thing where Superman
I'm not saying it's not in there. It's just it doesn't have to be so blatant.
So blatant.
Well, Campy, don't forget in Batman v Superman,
means it doesn't have to be in your face.
Fuck you. But also, but Campy, you do got to remember in Batman v Superman, he did die for our sins.
Yeah, he did. Okay, look, let's try and get this out of the way real quick too. A lot of the quote unquote religious overtones or undertones exist for the sheer fact that the creators of Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster, they're Jewish. They're of Jewish descendants. So the kind of origin story that Superman always has is very much akin to what happens with Moses in Exodus. So it's almost unavoidable when a lot of these religious parallels kind of occur. But again, like you say, Campia, it can be there. It just doesn't have to be so,
in your face
about it, which I understand.
So you don't need strong religious overtones.
But also going off what you just said, Ronan, it's like Superman's origin story. They've used his origin stories for multiple heroes. Goku's is
prime example.
Goku's planet's being destroyed by Frieza. What does his father do? Puts him in a pod and sends him to Earth. So literally, Goku is the anime version of Superman.
Well, here's another example. It's more of a parody hero, but Metro Man. He has a very similar origin as well, because he gets sent away from his planet. You kind of believe that his planet was also being destroyed, but
they're all taking from each other. That makes sense.
Right.
Yep.
Thor, you could officially say Thor is the Marvel version of Superman if you wanted to. It's
that's Hyperion. It's actually Hyperion.
I'd say Hyperion.
No,
Hyperion.
The only trouble with Marvel, at least, is just because there's multiple characters that Sentries. I was going to mention Sentry too. That's what I'm saying.
They take from the Superman mythos. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
That was one of the first, so that's the one that everybody kind of goes back to. Let's be honest, without Superman, some of these stories probably wouldn't be the way they are. Same thing with superhero movies. Without the 78 Superman, I don't know if a lot of our I don't want to say characteristics, but our plot points of superhero movies would not be the same without that movie.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
But
you also have to think that Lex Luthor is the archetype for the ultimate villain because of his
Absolutely.
portrayals.
I'm gonna mess AP up here a little bit, but I'm gonna kind of switch 3 and 4 the questions I had next because it's like I feel like we're already getting into that, so we might as well. So the question I have for you now is Donnerverse, Snyderverse, Gunverse. Which film series do you feel did it best? Considering which ones, what's the comparisons you make between the three?
I'll let you guys
Donner.
go first, and then
It's Donner. Donner literally took aspects from the comic books and the cartoons at the time, and literally casted fucking the greatest casting of all time in Christopher Reeve.
100%.
God rest your soul. He embodied Superman. The special effects were so good. You actually the way that they did the special effects in that is 10 times better than what you have now. But I mean, Donner literally took. I mean, look what he was working with at the time, right? He was working with fucking who played Jor-El?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
And literally got a good performance out of a fucking terrible actor. You know. But for me, it's always going to be Donner. Because those movies the first two were well made. The third movie was absolute trash. And the fourth one was okay because it was more of a Christopher Reeve story because he's the one that wrote the story and stuff. It's going to be Donner. Hands down, it's going to be Donner.
I'll agree with you when it comes to the first two films, but I don't know if I could go that far with the next ones. AP, what about you?
I'm going to be honest. I had to pull it up real quick. So I'm going to say what Phantom said. Donner. Donner is the most iconic, in my opinion, because when you think of Superman, you think of Christopher Reeve. That's simple. It's like he is one of the most iconic versions of Superman to ever be casted, and he on screen and behind the scenes, he pretty much embodies Superman.
Stoic. He was stoic.
Even when he was, succumbing to his disease and all that, he still kept that stoic personality and always was hopeful and optimistic, even when things were realistically should have been bleak for him. He kept that hope, and he truly embodied Superman to a level that honestly most celebrities who've played Superman have not been able to achieve since.
I get that, and I'll defend one thing though. I think every one of them had a different, let's just say, different take. Like Henry Cavill was the strong, gritty Superman, but he was also the one that felt like was troubled the most of people.
He's the
hurt.
weakest. He was the weakest.
No.
Superman.
He may have been, but he's the one that also I felt more like he thought about the people around him more than he did. Like he was trying to save the day, but he was also like worried about them. Whereas the Gunverse, I think he was more happy-go-lucky. Christopher Reeve is a great Superman, let's be honest. But Brandon Routh also tried his best to embody Christopher Reeve. And I don't think he did a bad job. I think he just had a bad script.
I think hold on before anyone else goes.
Oh, and I think, before you say anything, cast. There's no ED. Cast. It's singular and plural.
Fair.
Cast.
I think. I think Brandon Routh was phenomenal choice because he looked like a younger version of Christopher Reeve. He had similar facial structure, and it really freaking worked.
It is a continuation of that universe. So Brandon Routh's Superman is a continuation of that universe.
Well, it tried to be. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like the cast of Returns was phenomenal. The story was what was shit. Let's be honest.
Right.
But I mean, I fall back with Phantom though. Like Donner is probably my first one. I will defend the first two movies to my dying day. The fourth one I have a soft spot for. I will never defend the third one. I will never defend the third one.
Yeah,
I
that's
love.
It wasn't
Richard
a Superman
Pryor.
movie. It's a Richard Pryor movie. It wasn't.
I
It's all
agree.
Richard Pryor.
I agree. Richard Pryor is a great comedic actor. I love a lot of his movies. In this one, I hated him with a freaking passion. And like the ending with the Brainiac kind of thing. I'll be honest though, the girl getting transformed was scary as shit when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know the reason why like Margot Kidder and Gene Hackman didn't return for the third film is because they fired Richard Donner over Superman 2. I mean, that's the reason why they never returned. That's the reason why, like in that final film, it took Christopher Reeve all he could to bring both characters back for that final movie. You know, and I'm with Campion. I have a special spot for Superman 4. 3 was just absolute dog shit.
Trash.
Fucking hated it. I fucking hated that movie. I still hate that movie.
4 would have been better if they'd have not cut the budget the way Canon Films did, because Canon owned the fourth one at that point. And if they own the rights and it just let's make good enough, and so you constantly get the same scene of him flying time and time again.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, the actor couldn't that did the villain, he couldn't actually do his own voice, so they just paid Gene Hackman to be in the movie for 5 minutes and then to voice over the bad guy.
Technically, like the original villain for, wasn't it? No, Superman 2, the original villain was supposed no Superman 4, the original villain was supposed to be a Bizarro character.
Superman, yeah.
Yeah, that they literally cut out of the fucking movie.
Because they couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah.
But like we all agree, Donner is probably, to me, is the best one. Ronan, I know you've not seen the Donner one, so give me your take on what you think of Superman.
So for me, again,
have you seen the other ones?
Yes, I have seen the other ones.
Okay.
That much I can say. I haven't had a chance to see Donner's film, so I can't definitively say. Okay, I can say this from an objective standpoint. Objective, of course, being what the general consensus is, as well as like what is closest to what could be construed as objective reality. Let's put it that way. Yes, Christopher Reeve is the best Superman to exist. He is the best presentation, the best representation of him. But again, as somebody who as somebody who hasn't seen it, I can't say personally whether or not that is the case as well either. I've seen clips. I've seen some scenes. I think one of the most notable scenes, of course, is when he's in Lois's apartment as Clark. They're having the conversation. Lois disappears into the other room, and Clark goes from being like, hunched in his like usual self, pulls the glasses out, and the next thing you know, he straightens up, and it's like he's a completely different person. Now he's become Kal-El right there in that moment, puts the glasses back on, hunches over again. I've also seen the scene where Lois tries to throw herself off the building, and he quickly, with his super speed, manages to prevent her from falling to her doom by using his, laser eyes to open up the canopy and everything. That was funny. Even the part two, even the part two,
that is
even the part two where Lois literally pulls out a 357 and tries to shoot him with it, only to reveal that it was actually a blank, and he ended up revealing that he was Superman with her tricking him and everything. But all that being said, of course, I can't definitively say whether or not he is the best one. I can only go off of what I have seen. And I've seen Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. I've seen Henry Cavill in, the Snyderverse, and I've seen David Corenswet in the Gunverse. I think for me, from looking at it this way and what best embodies Superman, I feel like I would have to give it towards Routh, just because of the fact that he is closest to, Richard Donner's version of Superman. And while there's plenty of flaws that exist with Superman Returns, I feel like in terms of the tone in terms of the perspective, in terms of what it is he's trying to stand for. Sure, he didn't say true justice in the American way, but in terms of the overall sentiment, shall we say, Routh Superman, I feel, really tries to embody what Christopher Reeve's Superman did to the best of his abilities. It's just a shame that he is mired in a terrible fucking script that exists, because the story in it is pretty bad. The characters, the casting choice was great. It was pretty good, but the story in and of itself was really subpar. It wasn't all that great, but for what it was, they tried the best that they could. Now, from a personal standpoint, I still absolutely love Henry Cavill as Superman because of the fact that it's a little bit more grounded, shall we say. And I understand a lot when people hear the phrase grounded, they immediately start rolling their eyes. It's like, here we go, cynical, jaded, grounded in reality kind of stuff.
That's all right.
Look, the truth of the matter is the fact that there would be a superpowered being like him, the only one of his kind in this world, at least as far as everybody knows, up until, of course, the rest of the Snyderverse, starts revealing there's more metahumans. But but the fact that there's this one character who is so powerful, of course, people are going to be concerned about whether or not he's working in America's best interests, as General Swanwick was asking him. And even he himself says, like, I grew up in Kansas, General. Like, I'm about as American as they come. And sure, that's not true justice in the American way, but that's at least Snyder still recognizing that, yes, Superman is uniquely an American hero. He's absolutely an American hero. And, in the end of the scene as well, he's saying, I'm here to help, but it has to be on my own terms. That's him basically saying, I don't want to be a superhero that's just working as America's lapdog, like what you see in The Dark Knight Returns.
He doesn't want to be a government agent.
Where he's basically, working at the behest of Ronald Reagan, to the point where Reagan himself sends him to Gotham City to stop Batman, even though Batman's doing a great job at bringing order and peace back to Gotham. Nobody else was doing it. He was the only one that was doing it. So now Reagan's just like, let me send Superman to basically put him back in his place. Like, you got to be fucking shitting me with this, dude. You got to be shitting me with that.
He said
that's how you're gonna. Yes, but yes, for all of his flaws and for a lot of the strong religious overtones, personally, I believe that I enjoy Henry Cavill's Superman the most. But objectively, without having watched Donner, Routh kind of does the closest that he could.
Well, also another thing that hurt Brandon Routh as Superman was how he reacted being cast as Superman, because he was very cocky, he was arrogant, and like that hurt his career. And then like Ebola said, he got to revisit his version of Superman back in the CW Crisis,
right. which we'll get to.
And he literally did redeem himself as an actor and as that character. He redeemed that character, but Brandon Routh was a complete asshole after he did Superman. He was a complete jerk.
Well, I mean, in terms of asshole, he fit it perfectly when he was in Scott Pilgrim.
That's true.
Yeah, but the thing about this that bothers me, though, the thing that bothers me about the Snyderverse more than anything, I like Henry Cavill, I have no problem with him playing Superman. But the thing that killed me with the original movie was the fact that he was Clark the alien, never Superman through the movie.
Yeah,
right.
And they do not say it at the end, Phantom. I think you asked me that one day. They do not call him Superman at all in this first movie, and it was just hold on. Everybody knew who it was. No, they start to say it, and then they go to credit.
Yep.
Oh, well, okay. So I remember, I forget what scene it was exactly, but General Swanwick was still in like the Situation Room, basically, and then that's when one of the other troops is just like, General, I have the colonel with him, and he's got Superman in tow, and he's like, Superman? The alien, sir. That's what they're calling him, Superman. Which I know that's kind of one of those like modern Marvel sort of takes where it's like they add the name of the superhero in it, not so much as an official thing, but like a little nickname that characters are giving him instead. But obviously, the second film is when they officially do call him Superman.
Yes, and it's just like this, the fact that like that everybody knows who he is. He's not hidden. It's like that's kind of what they're doing with the new animation, but I'll get into that later.
Right.
It's just the movie itself, and me and Phantom both agree to this. you know, it wasn't. Pa Kent should have died.
Here we go.
He should have in the first
Yeah.
movie. 100% should have died.
Right.
The way they offed him was so freaking stupid.
It's like I said. It's like I said in green screen. It's like
Oh my God.
what the way
naturally.
he should. The thing is, in the original Donner film, Pa's Kent's death is what sets Clark on his journey to become Superman, to find out who he is, where he came from.
Sorry, we're killing it. He has a heart attack.
Yeah, he has a heart attack.
Superpowers can't help a heart attack.
No.
Right.
And the thing is,
which
is
makes
like,
it even more tragic.
Yeah, we were talking about like like I said like earlier, is like it would have worked better. Say like the tornado would have picked up like a gas truck or something, and it would smash him to where he's running there, but it's literally faster than him, which still is impossible because he could have zipped down there and got him in.
Well, he was still. I'll defend that. He's still learning his powers at that point, and there's a tornado going on. His senses might have been sensed on something else as opposed to that.
Yeah.
And if they'd have just like basically had him walking away from the thing or something, and just have it hit, and you don't see it, fans, nobody sees it until it happens.
Or fucking house gets dropped on something that
Just something that
unseeable.
I think what would have made it more impactful is if, like, because it showed he was injured, and people are like, well, he didn't want to walk, and I'm like, first of all, a lot of people are injured, they still push through the pain to to get somewhere safe. A lot of people do that,
and he was still standing. His leg was broken.
And I know Ronan has a few things that he wants to say. I'll let you say.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say this: like, they should have at least made it where he was trying to. They should have made it where he should have just at least tried to walk away from the tornado, but couldn't get there in time. At least
something, or something like he attempted to, but he had to say, "No, don't save me," like a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, nobody's gonna do that.
Okay, so I understand when it comes to Pa Kent in Man of Steel. Like, there's two things that I understand are detestable when it comes to. Look, I'll say this: Kevin Costner did a good job looking the role, and when he plays the character right, he plays the character right, absolutely. But I also know that when it came to the scene where he's talking to young Clark, telling when it came to the school bus accident, right, and then he pulls the school bus out, and he says to him, like, what was I supposed to do? Just let them all die? And then, Pa Kent tells him, maybe that's a horrible thing that you could say.
But still, Pa Kent wouldn't say that.
No, that's what I mean. Pa Kent would never say that. That's not the kind of character that Pa Kent is. He would never say something like that. What I will say, however, when it comes to his death, and this is what I mean when I was talking about the whole grounded in reality thing earlier, if people had seen Clark basically rush into the tornado to try and save Pa Kent, grab him, and somehow manage to get him out of that in some way, shape, or form, I'm just saying, some of the people of Smallville would be asking a lot more questions other than the mom that was asking a couple years back. One of them would probably be thinking, this dude isn't human. We might need to call the military for this. And the next thing you know, the U.S. government is knocking at the Kent residence. They're dragging Clark away as best as they can. Or worse yet, they're going to be dragging the parents away as leverage towards him. Again, I understand when it comes to that kind of perspective, that kind of like almost cynical worldview, people don't want to see something like that in a Superman film. I get it 100%. And now at this point in time, I don't want to see it either. And I also don't want to see what David Cornsweet and James Gunn were doing, where they try to add some of that more, how do I put it? Some of that more levity, like idealism and levity to it. But now it doesn't feel like it's coming from a level of sincerity. It feels like it's coming from a level of, oh man, isn't all of this kind of like so funny and goofy and quirky? I can't wait to make fun of it. Like that kind of levity does not fit either, because it's coming from a level of arrogance, of not understanding the character. That's why I don't care at all. Cornsweet looks the part, but he just cannot act the part of Superman. Not for me, at least. He can't act it. I think if you give him a better script, perhaps he could be a better Superman. But because of the script that was given to him, my perspective on him is been very much spoiled by it, essentially. So when it comes, of course, to Henry Cavill here, yes, it's jaded, it's dark, it's gritty. People are sick and tired of it. For what it's worth, though, Henry Cavill at least was doing the best that he could to, because he's a fan like
it's not his fault.
He absolutely
it's not his fault.
He was doing the best.
Zack Snyder's fault.
Yes, Zack Snyder's fault, David S. Goyer's fault, but Cavill was doing the best that he could to try and present the character with as much reverence and as much levity, sincere levity as he could. And like what I was mentioning before in the green room. Yes, green room, not the green screen.
Green screen.
Green screen.
If it was Christopher McQuarrie that was handling the character, or if it was Brad Bird, especially Brad Bird, who was handling the character, I think people would absolutely look back at Henry Cavill Superman with a lot more positive outlooks. I would say that's what I feel would have been the case if it was Brad Bird who was the one handling it. And Brad Bird knows how to do superheroes. Just go watch The Incredibles. He absolutely knows how to do superheroes. So if it was him that handled Superman, I have a feeling that people would definitely look at Henry Cavill Superman with a lot more favor than what we are seeing now. That's just my personal take on it.
Well, that's like comparing it to, like, say, like in Crime Alley, instead of like the Waynes getting shot by a gun, they get killed by a paper cut. That's how I see that scene. It's like the scene is like he's standing there, he gets the dog runs away. And it's like if they would have had it where it been more, it's the impact of his death is supposed to get him to realize that with great power comes great responsibility. It's that moment.
No, of course.
Yeah,
but it's
same concept. Huh?
Like Smallville did this perfectly with the death of Jonathan Kent, to where Jonathan is fighting Lionel Luthor. He has a heart attack, and he literally just walks out as they drive up and dies in Clark's arms. Spoiler. And like in the original movie, him and Clark is having the horsing around, having a little race.
You're fine, dude.
he ends up dying from a heart attack. And Clark realized with all these powers, I couldn't even save him. So that that puts in his mindset. That's the reason why Clark is like, he has to save everybody with these powers. But then he also knows
much more appreciation of life is because he couldn't save his
father. But the thing is, though, he also realized you can't save everybody. So I mean, he has a dual thing where he learns that. You know, he learns that.
No, of course, absolutely. And that's, and again, too, it's like, what is it? The impact of Jonathan Kent's death, the impact of Pa Kent's death. That's supposed to be the catalyst of what makes Clark become Superman. The way that they presented it in Man of Steel did come off pretty, it was pretty sloppy. It was shit. Again, at the same time, just for me at least, I'm not, I know it's very contestable that I'm trying to defend it. It's the world that they're trying to build. The world they're trying to build is that it feels a little bit more grounded. Humans don't really trust the fact that there are super powered beings amongst them. So of course, that's why Pa Kent told him, and that's why Clark even repeats it to Lois, is like, my father believed that that the time wasn't right just yet for humans to know that I'm here. He was convinced that I wasn't ready until the time would be right. You know, and again, sounds pretty dumb to say, and it's also ridiculous that Jonathan Kent would allow himself to die the way that he did. What they were trying to build, I understand why it was that they were doing it. I don't 100% agree with it.
No. They failed in the building. That's the problem.
Yes.
Let me say this first.
Go ahead.
Ronan, we're on opposite sides, us and you basically. But look, we can listen to each other. Just because we're on opposite sides doesn't mean we can't listen to each other.
Right.
I just want to say something real quick before Ronan continues. This is just pointing out, it's not easy to be the only one with a different opinion on a panel. Like Tuesday night event. Like,
here's the thing.
They said this. Like, people have said this before. it is not easy when you're the only one with a specific opinion. It's
Yeah.
not. So respect Ronan
Yeah.
for
Yeah, no, we respect Ronan.
It's
completely.
it's okay. Ronan's our beardo. It's okay.
But my problem is not just with that movie; it's with the whole series as it is. Like Batman v Superman was not a good movie in itself. The
No.
ultimate cut was better than the original.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Justice League, which was not Zack Snyder's fault, the original one. But then you got the Zack Snyder 4-hour cut. It's like
Which was better.
which was
What's up,
better,
Shell?
but it was also too damn long. It's just like that series itself just felt like so many added things for no reason.
Why did you say that
wanted
name?
Batman together with Superman. You wanted Wonder Woman in there. Then the next one, you wanted this character, that character,
Yes,
that character.
yes,
and it was
no.
just like, why?
That 100% I will agree on is that when they really tried expediting essentially the Justice League, that was a
Yes.
terrible decision on their part.
Fucking
They should
horrible.
not have been
I
doing
said that. I've said that 1,000 times. You can't go from Man of Steel to fucking Justice League in 3 fucking movies. Then
No,
you got to
can't.
think Batman v Superman were 8 different storylines into one.
Yes.
And the one thing that I will defend on for Man of Steel was the end scene where Superman breaks Zod's neck. It shows he had
I have no problem with
fucking
that.
choice.
I had
I had
no
no
problem. with that.
I'm
problem
gonna share
with
some real quick.
And people say, oh, he cried out. He cried out. The thing is, though, Superman. That's where Superman learned that
So
you had to
I
make the
made
hard
this.
decisions.
I made this a while ago. It's kind of my example of what you do for a cinematic universe. You do, and I don't know if you guys can read it.
A little bit.
Somewhat, yeah.
It's a little small.
Here, let me
Zoom
go.
in. You know, Phantom can't see.
He's too old.
How do I zoom in?
Anyway, like, and it's he's right. When
But
it
the
comes to
point
that.
is, Superman is the first movie, and I had Wonder Woman in the second movie because Warner Bros. Would have done that.
Oh,
They
you
would've
made
had-
your own universe. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
this is his own
and
universe,
then
basically.
Superman 2, and then Superman 2, and then a Batman movie, and then a Batman v Superman movie, or Superman. Have them at odds, and then slowly build up through the universe as buddies.
No, it should have been World's Finest. Them teaming up is what it should have been.
Nerd Divergent said,
Yeah.
wheel.
Use
Nerd Divergent said,
oh
use
yeah,
wheel.
control
I'm
wheel,
using
mouse
wheel.
up, use wheel.
I'm using wheel.
Are
I'm
you?
using wheel.
Nerd
Um,
It's not
Divergent
doing
said,
anything.
use wheel.
but,
Control wheel. Control wheel.
There you go.
But
Guys, I this first time I've used notepad in a freaking stream. So, but yeah, so this is like the first structured of this cinematic universe, simple and all that. Way better than what we got right now. It's just like because it's respecting Superman, of course, being one of the most iconic heroes.
I don't blame DC. They were fighting to try to get to the Avengers without having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They were
and
trying
yes,
to.
again, them trying to expedite it's probably the biggest mistake they could have made, though. Because
Phantom
again,
expedite means to make it quicker.
Fuck you! I know what it
under-
means, you dipshit.
I understand that they wanted to try and catch up and compete, but when it comes to these characters,
Thank you, tech guy.
look, okay, let's try and get something out of the way. And I imagine a lot of you guys are going to agree with me on this. The DC characters are far more popular, far more recognizable, far more connected to American culture than Marvel characters are. Maybe not at this point now, but back in the day, DC characters as a whole, I feel, were far more recognizable, far more unique, and far more connected to Americana than Marvel was.
I'm a DC guy over Marvel 100%.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
and-
the reason.
and-
That's
Okay.
the reason why a lot of fucking
So,
Marvel characters were
I wanna say
rip-offs of
something.
DC characters.
Well, it's vice
Yes.
versa too. It's vice versa too. There are DC characters that rip off Marvel, but
No, of course.
and
like
but
these
hold
guys
on.
ripped
I
off.
just want to say something. I used to be a big Marvel guy. But over the last few years, I've been switching to DC, and now I'm like, okay, I like DC more. Like DC
Right.
is just like
If you're talking
Superman-
if you're talking about backstories, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the current after the 52, new 52 was decent, was okay, but after that, Rebirth
Yeah.
has been horrible.
Horrible.
After Rebirth,
yeah.
The
fucking
absolute universe.
well, okay,
has been horrible.
Rebirth is better than Absolute. It is absolutely, it's
100%.
absolutely better than absolutely.
But I'm saying that's where the downhill started coming was Rebirth.
Right.
But Doc, we talk about this. We're talking about other movies. I want to do a final thing on the movie series here. So tell me about what do y'all think of the Corn Sweat series? Like what we have right now, the one movie and the next Supergirl movie. And we'll talk about Man of Tomorrow later in the stream. Really?
Yes.
I included TV series stuff in the next,
let me say this. Let me say this. When I watched the movie, the big highlight and the guy that really stole the show in the film was Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is a cool hero, but he should not be the dude that steals the show in a fucking Superman movie. Superman should be the one that steals the show in a Superman movie.
Not Mr. Terrific, not
Fuck Guy Gardner. Fuck Guy Gardner.
Hold on. That is how you know that James Gunn screwed up a Superman film, because people liked another character that wasn't Superman. How many times is it whenever we talk about James Gunn, we constantly bring up the fact that the man knows how to make ensemble films, but he cannot make individual solo films. That's why he had to add the Justice Gang into this. He doesn't know 100%. How to write Superman. He doesn't know how to present Superman.
Well, Ronan, don't forget, fucking Supergirl is just another fucking Guardians of the Galaxy Part fucking 4.
Hell, bro.
Supergirl is literally just a female version of Star-Lord. Like looks wise too.
Oh,
she got the same similar trench coat.
Hey, did y'all hear today though? So it's been reported. Like Jason Momoa has said that he wants to do a Lobo film, but he's not going to do a Lobo film unless it's rated fucking R.
Which is what it should be.
Fair.
And if
we get Power Girl.
Thing is, I think Corn Sweat's not a bad Superman. I don't think Corn Sweat's a bad Superman.
Corn Sweat was a good casting.
But Sweaty Corn is not the Superman that we need right now.
No, it is not.
We do not need the jokey Superman. Like, good thing we're going to go over here.
Yeah.
But what I want to see is somebody that can best try to bring that feeling of Christopher Reeve Superman back. Or you know what? Doesn't have to be that. It could be somebody who's their own Superman, but for the love of God, be a Superman that embodies truth, justice,
something we want to aspire to be.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's take a look at a modern movie. Let's talk about Masters of the Universe, right? The guy that played Adam and He-Man, right? Because
how about we got
like we've only had two versions of He-Man live action. We had Dolph Lundgren, who did a good job. I know Mo hates that movie, but it's not a perfect movie, but I enjoyed the original live action. Then we got the newer He-Man, right? Perfect casting for both characters, right? For me, David Corn Sweat, he had the look. It was just a shitty fucking movie. It was just shitty. And you got to blame James Gunn for it, because what did it do? It did bomb. It fucking bombed.
And
we know Supergirl is going to fucking bomb.
Supergirl is looking to perform worse than freaking Mandalorian Grogu.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
I just want to say something real quick. It is semi-related. The reason why James Gunn, the Superman movie, was bad is because James Gunn wanted it his way, while David Corn Sweat was and is a big fan of Superman.
Yep.
He said this was like his lifelong dream to be Superman, and he got the opportunity to be. And
I don't blame him for taking it all.
I don't know if you guys heard this, but there apparently was multiple arguments on set between Corn Sweat and Gunn, because Corn Sweat saw one way where he wanted Superman to be this kind of thing, but Gunn wouldn't let him do it.
Now Superman is campy. There is camp in Superman, but Superman is more. He's more in tune to be serious, because he fights galactic level fucking villains.
Well, I mean, he's the Boy Scout. He is the Boy Scout of the DC.
He's the Blue Boy Scout. That's literally his nickname.
Big Blue.
And what did we get in this fucking movie? We got fucking scrawny Lex Luthor. We got a fucking version of Bizarro. Fucking
Lex Luthor.
Shitty version of fucking Bizarro. We got the girl that had the nanite technology that used her nanites to fucking try to like
The
suffocate Superman.
the engineer.
The engineer. And then you had fucking Crypto, which was the Grogu of the fucking movie. I mean,
I think he was meant to be the Rocket Raccoon because it was just like he was meant to be this like adorable fighting character, and that's pretty much what Gunn tried to make Rocket was horrible fighting character.
When they announced this movie like a few years ago, and they said that Crypto was in, I was okay with it, but then I got to thinking, Crypto should not be in this movie. It's too soon for Crypto.
Not for the first Superman movie.
I would say it's also really frustrating because like
Xbox.
It's I know I saw it. Superman, the movie, the James Gunn movie, has so many elements of James Gunn's life in it.
Yeah,
Crypto looks like James Gunn's dog. Ma and Pa Kent's house literally is a house that James Gunn lived in, and then there's freaking like so many elements where apparently James Gunn sees himself in Lex Luthor and Superman, so he wanted to do that. And I'm like, how about you make a movie for Superman fans? Simple as that.
You think of it that simple, but it's not. But
yeah, you're right. You have to put your ego aside, and that's not really easy.
Yeah.
Having said that, let's go to the TV shows. So, what do you think of? Do you think the TV show? I'll actually combine two questions here because we're getting kind of far into it. The Superman TV shows, we had Smallville, Lois and Clark, Superman and Lois, Krypton, Superboy, Adventures of Superman from the 60s. I think there's one other one I can't remember. So what do y'all think of the TV shows compared to the movies?
So Krypton was absolute trash. So it's a prequel. This guy time travels and he's trying to like tell the grandfather of Superman, he's got sent, his son's got sent his grandson to Earth to become this great superhero. Fucking absolute trash. Fucking hated it. Now I think like in the last say 40 years, probably the recent CW Superman and Lois was probably one of the best ones we've ever seen.
Yes, it was.
It was really good.
Fantastic. I managed to watch the first 2 seasons of it. I still got to go back and watch the latter 2, but that is a phenomenal way to do Superman and
Tyler
Lois
Hoechlin Tyler Hoechlin did a phenomenal.
Yes,
he bridged the gap between Clark and. I mean, it's Christopher Reeve-esque how he balanced Clark and Superman in that show. It was really fucking good, really fucking good. A good Doomsday. It had good villains, and it did a little bit more to the lore and stuff, and. And you got to think, he was a one-off character in the CW Supergirl. He's a one-off character that that he was hired because of how he. God damn you, fucking can't be.
Took a minute.
And you got to think when we still got Lanterns coming soon too.
Which
don't get me fucking started on that
later,
shit.
I guess. But it's like you said, the TV show Lois and Superman was really good. I have a soft spot Phantom. You probably watch. You think you watched it too? Freaking for Lois and Clark.
You have a soft spot Phantom?
Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher. Had such great chemistry together, man. And he was one of the shorter Superman. He was only I think he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
And it's just that's the stories they told. It was you had the Superman element, but it was one of the times where the little drama between the relationship of them building together was more fun watching Clark and Lois than it was watching Superman and Lois, Yeah.
Well, I mean, also Dean Cain did the performance well because also
absolutely
he knew how to play Clark different from Superman.
Superman is an ice agent apparently.
Well, I mean, if you remember right, like the hairstyles. Even the hairstyles were reversed because Clark always had the slick hair back, and Superman hair was kind of messed up, had the curl on the front. But in this series, fucking Superman had the slick back hair and Clark had the reverse hairstyle.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I think like one of the shittiest ones has to be the 2 seasons of Superboy, which were kind of bad for its time, late 90s. They were bad. But Lois and Clark and Superman Lois were pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good.
Yeah, so Gerard Christopher you're talking about and John Hames Newton.
Yeah.
They weren't given much to work with compared to Dean Cain, though. Like they were
No.
trying to bring something in like Christopher Reeve. It was Superman. 87 was the last one. Then they tried to do a TV show.
Go up,
and it just
Atomic. We only see the
John,
4.
yeah. Well, no, I told him to zoom in on Dean Cain because he's talking about his haircut, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Zoom back out and go.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you've got, like you said, the different haircuts and everybody. He is the first one where it was like slick back as opposed to not having the little curl in it.
Yeah.
Like, George Reeves didn't have the curl, I guess, either, did he?
No.
George,
Looks like no.
Yeah. Well, it kind of became a trend where like they kind of gave Superman the kind of slick back hair or like more.
Yeah.
Maintained
It was
hair,
so the thing was like George Reeves Superman. The reason why he didn't do that because he wore a hat majority of the time of the show. He wore a bolo hat, so you couldn't really see his head.
Yeah, the hat is Clark Kent. You're right.
Yeah.
And a shout out to freaking, say what you want about Tom Welling, but he embodied a young Superman completely. He worked with that character for 10 years. 10 years, and 10, it was just he built something
10 seasons,
like
right?
10 seasons.
Yeah.
He built something. I'll say 7, 8 out of the seasons are worth it.
Yeah,
but he built something that just you couldn't do back then. Like nobody saw Superman going for 10 freaking seasons. Everybody saw it being a 3-season show and ending it, but it was so popular and so well loved, and people still to this day know that damn somebody say.
Oh, it's
damn song.
Also, Tom Welling suffered from the Superman curse. You know, he suffered just like the majority of the characters who
What do
play
you mean
Superman.
The curse? What do you mean the curse?
Well, so it started from like George Reeve, right? George Reeve, you know, he supposedly self-deleted, but like Christopher Reeve broke his neck. The switching of the casting of Superboy from one actor to the other. Dean Cain, like later on, you know, like he was typecast as the heroic guy. Then when he played the dude that killed his wife in California, that changed. Tom Welling, a lot of people hated him because he didn't put the suit on. Brandon Routh, Superman curse was, you know, his cockiness and stuff, and he was blacklisted for years until he redeemed himself. Henry Cavill, granted, he was a good Superman, but then the curse hit him. Look, because of him wanting to be more accurate and stuff.
Because of The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, it was James Gunn because literally James Gunn promised him to leave The Witcher. He was supposed to come back as Superman. He promised him that.
See, I thought. Oh my god, I just said his name. Dwayne Johnson did. I thought The Rock did.
No, it was Gunn and Rock and them, and Rock thought that Black Adam was going to go against Superman, and that's how they were going to introduce Shazam, and it just never happened.
Well, that's what they were kind of building up to that in the Snyderverse was.
Yeah. And you can't really say Nicolas Cage was Superman because his movie was never, the Kevin Smith Superman movie was never filmed. They did the concept stuff for it. And basically it was just a throwaway scene in the Flashpoint Paradox movie. And Nicolas Cage did not like it because he said they didn't even use the stuff that he filmed. And he was pissed about that. Tyler Hoechlin, phenomenal Superman. He did pretty fucking good in the CW.
And it was nice that they brought him in with Brandon Routh at the what was it, the
Crisis,
the Crisis, and that actually made you want to say, well, let's see more of this guy.
Well, I'm just gonna zoom in real quick back to Brandon Routh. Like this suit is one of
the Kingdom Come suit. Yeah,
it's one of the best suits in Superman history for live action. Because first of all, This symbol should not be on a freaking regular Superman suit.
No.
It's specifically a Kingdom Come suit because of the meaning of that symbol. That specific symbol has meaning. It's a darker Superman who's experienced a lot of tragedy. And this Superman, he's still young. He's still up and coming. So having that suit is kind of ridiculous and defeating the purpose of Superman's identity.
Well, Tommy, you got to remember, Kingdom Come Superman, the reason why he wears that S is because of the Joker going to the Daily Planet and killing everybody in the fucking building. And he literally loses literally loses his way to where he starts killing people. Superman kills.
He stops holding back. He stops
he stops holding his punches.
And I think the main reason is because Lois Lane specifically died in that tragedy.
Yes.
And he lost his last connection to humanity, which was Lois. And he lost his way really until
I don't know if it's his last connection to humanity, but it was his main connection to humanity.
He lost his
because they still play off the Jimmy Olsen and all the other characters,
And it's truly tragic because Brandon Routh is meant to be Christopher Reeve's Superman, by the way.
Yes.
And this is what happened. It's very tragic.
But the thing is though, is like the Kingdom Come Superman inspired Injustice Superman. What would happen if Clark loses the love of his fucking life, Lois Lane, who is pregnant with his child, and we know what happened. He becomes a tyrannical monster, right? And the thing is like Christopher Reeve, he got Superman's humanity. Right, that's the reason why he was a perfect casting because who he was. Dean Cain had that seriousness, goofiness to Superman.
But that's what we needed at the time in the 90s. I feel like that fit the Superman mode that we needed. Like it went kind of serious and kind of campy and serious with not Brandon Routh, Tom Welling. Well, Tom Welling, it went that way too, and like we all come down to Christopher Reeve. He started the trend for I would say us now, like the 60s to the 80s. Like 78 was the first, but or 50s to the 70s. There was 20 years there that was not seen of anything Superman after George Reeves because nobody really thought what could they do with this.
Well, we had the cartoons. Which was
but we didn't have live action.
Yeah, it was campy Superman villain of the week bullshit.
But my point is, you could see the love. Christopher Reeve he wanted the role, but he didn't know much about Superman, and you see the love he built for it as it went on. And we actually got a little thing here, a little interview thing that Ronan found that I want to bring up and play because it really shows how much he loved being Superman.
Just real quick, before we do play it, I know I shared it with you guys. I'll give one more shout out over to
Nerd Divergent.
To Nerd Divergent, who last night we and I were having this conversation. He's the one that shared this video with me, but this one really talks about how not just Nerd Divergent sees Superman, but how a lot of people really see Superman. Go ahead.
All right. You guys ready?
The thing that I'm most passionate about is not so much the nuclear issue as about a way of looking at the world that Superman represents. In fact, he says at the end of the movie in a line that I wrote, he says, I just wish you could all see the earth the way that I see it. Because when you really look at it, it's just one world. And what he means is not something political. He means from his point of view out in space when he's out there hanging around. It's the view you get from the space shuttle. And you see the earth as this beautiful, fragile marble just hanging there in space, and that we need to take better care of it. We should think of ourselves, all of us, this world is Smallville, is a small town, and we should feel like neighbors. And if that idea sort of subliminally gets planted in kids throughout the world, then something can grow from that.
Philosophically, that's really the philosophical approach. You graduated with honors from one of the toughest universities in the United States, Cornell. Then you went on to Juilliard, then went on to the Old Vic in London, then went to Comédie Française in Paris. You must have a philosophical grasp of this this appeal that Superman has that's more than just a cartoon character. Philosophically, what does Superman represent to people?
A friend, and that's what people really need most. They don't need a strong arm, one man vigilante force. They need a friend. We're living in an age when people are basically afraid of contact with each other. They're afraid. People live in cities. They don't even know their neighbors. They're afraid to go out in the street. Something might happen to them. Basically, technology is against you. Life is overwhelming.
Yeah, if
even
you
the
could see
bank doesn't
now.
know who you are.
Worse.
And
now,
it's like
yeah.
we run around scared a lot, particularly those of us who live in cities. And America was founded on the virtues of a helping hand, of going 5 miles to lend your neighbor a donkey or whatever he needed. And I think that is that kind of virtue that's at the bottom. That's the heart of Superman. The genuine love of people, and that you always know he's your friend.
The one thing about Christopher Reeve, when he read the issue of Death of Superman, he cried when he read the comic book.
Yeah, he had no real knowledge of Superman when he started the film. He knew Superman, but he didn't have any kind of but he, after starting the filming, he went and read the comics, went and looked at other stuff, went and looked at the serials, went and watched the cartoons, and grew to love that character.
Hold on. I want to clarify some about Campia. The thing that people don't understand is you don't have to know the source material before you're cast. But if you go out of your way when you're cast as a character to go and understand the source material, every fan will have far more appreciation of who you are and your role as a character because you're going out of your way to understand the character you're playing.
Henry Cavill.
It is 100%. It is why people love Henry Cavill. Is why people love Christopher Reeve. It's because they might not have known much about the character beforehand, but afterwards, they made it their mission to understand the character, go to the source material, and they grew to have an appreciation. And it's just goes to show you that understanding and appreciating the character you're portraying as really satisfies the fans.
I do want to say one thing, nerd divergent. I disagree with you. Super Friends was fucking awesome.
I don't. No divergent. You got to understand. Phantom was there when it was made.
Yeah. I think he was critiquing the fact that they tried to make Superman a world hero and not a Americana hero, like they're doing now again.
Well, see, here's the thing, though, is that even as an American hero, he can still be one that protects the world.
Yeah.
Well, they had not Legion of Doom. What's it called? Hall of Justice was kind of a different heroes from different worlds.
So this is going to be a semi-political. They are turning him into a globalist icon. That's what they are trying to do. It's trying to turn him into because nationalism is no longer a safe thing anymore. You cannot have love of country, and Superman was always definitively that blue Boy Scout. He was always referred to as pretty much a star-spangled hero. As much as Captain America is for Marvel, Superman is that character for DC and always has been. And they're trying to erase that fucking element of him because they hate what they think America stands for.
One of the most iconic panels in The Dark Knight Returns is where Bruce is painting a picture of Clark. He's holding the American flag, and he's got a bald eagle on his fucking arm, for Christ's sake.
Didn't they do that in Batman Returns?
Yeah. Yeah, in the cartoon. They did that in The Dark Knight Returns. That was the scene. Old Bruce and old Clark. And the thing is like I said, like the whole thing with Truth, Justice, and American Way went out the window when they created the Red Sun Elseworlds storyline,
which was supposed to be an Elseworlds story.
Yeah, and they killed that off. That's where it started from. Was Red Sun.
Well, yeah. Before we move on, though, I want to talk about one thing. I was going to make this a question. I just kind of want to make it a statement instead, just for here. I want to shout out also Kirk Allen, who is the original Superman on live action that nobody really talks about. Like George Reeves gets more of the love than Kirk Allen did, and he was really the first to bring the Boy Scout to life. And if you watch the '78 Superman movie, when Jeff Best, Jeff East, who plays young Clark Kent, teenage Clark Kent, is running, in the train is young Lois with the two original actors, the original Lois Lane and Kurt Allen as the mom and dad of Lois.
Mhm.
And it don't really get talked about. It was in the extended cut, but it's still nice to see that getting put there.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And again, I also want to shout out Jeff Best as teenage he's not on here as teenage Superman for the 78 movie. Everybody thinks of Christopher Reeves because Christopher Reeves dubbed his voice over Jeff East, and Jeff East wasn't happy about it, but at the same time he understood what was going through, and he had really a lot of respect for Christopher Reeves. Go ahead and bring up the little thing and I'll read it.
Yep.
All right. I was literally just about to ask him.
Yeah, Jeff East, he's
Hold on, let me zoom in.
You can zoom in. I've got it where I can read it. Jeff East said this: the young Superman in Superman 78 said, "I've been in this movie business for years up to this point. In the 1970s, I was a child actor, had played Huckleberry Finn, done TV work, acted in commercials. My call to play the young Clark Kent was hinged on two things: Richard Donner liking my screen test, and he thought I looked like teenage Christopher Reeve. Donner is the greatest. He is the reason that Superman the movie is a classic." And yeah, I know. And I told him after I was cast, I said, "Hey, Mr. Donner, I read the comics as a kid. Comic books were my escape from school and long hours on the film set." He just smiled and said, "Me too, kid." And we just got to work. Donner is a class act, and I only met Chris Reeve a handful of times. The guy was an anomaly in the film business. No ego on this man, which is nice to hear about him. He didn't care about impressing anybody, just professionalism of all times and friendly to everybody. He was a young actor too. He could have been an egotist about everything, but everything to him was so serious. To him, I think this was just a job, a stepping stone towards Hollywood. But I think as time went on, he kind of became an actual fan of Superman. I don't think it was an act for him. I think Chris actually saw it as his role after a while, and what Superman he was, right. Such incredible strength and determination. Let's face it, Chris and Richard Donner made our lives the greatest superhero movie of all time, and I agree with this.
Yep.
Like it shows the respect he had as well as the
it's a reverence.
I just wanted to throw some respect on Jeff East's name too.
Oh yeah, he deserves a lot of respect. Like his reverence for the character is just.
He might not have been the voice, but his face, is the performance you see when Pa Kent dies. You see him broken up about losing his father.
Yeah. And
So
it's phenomenal acting. He does not get the appreciation he deserves.
And he should. And I just wanted to shout him out on that.
Yeah.
Okay, going forward, we've talked about live action TV show. We're talking about live action movies. What do you think about Superman in animation? So let me ask you this. Does animation land better in a Superman story due to like all the flying, the fight scenes, the aerial theatrics? And is it better for scale as opposed to try to do a live action one? And why?
I believe that the animation format lends itself a little bit more because of a lot of the great feats that have to occur in Superman stories. Like here's one example. I forget which storyline this one is, but I remember there's one storyline where Superman himself literally attaches himself to a machine where he's able to bench press the sum total weight of the entire planet Earth.
All-Star Superman.
All-Star Superman.
That's All-Star Superman.
So something like that, sure, you could try it in a live action format, but it probably doesn't translate as well in comparison to presenting it in an animated format. Having said all of that, of course, what I also do believe is that the technology for a lot of these kinds of feats, I feel is starting to get there now where we're able to kind of use highly sophisticated CG. And I know some people aren't big fans of AI as well, but you can use AI not to replace CG or anything of that matter, but use AI to try and help refine and, just flesh out any of the kinks that may still exist when it comes to a lot of this computer graphics work. You could use AI to just help refine it even more so. Of course, animation will always be here to be able to present a story that may be so okay. I think the one thing that will always stay in animation, and I'm sure James Gunn is going to want to try to do this, but it's Mxyzptlk. That guy, the little magical fifth dimensional being that's also always a thorn on Superman's side. I don't see that.
Supergirl. He was in Supergirl.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in Supergirl.
Yeah, but he wasn't a midget.
He was
Yeah,
he was a regular person.
size.
That's what I'm talking about. Imagine like a floating midget just kind of running about and whatnot, right? I can't see something like that in a live action format without it
Brad
being
Williams.
so uncanny and goofy that it's almost
Yeah.
impossible to take it seriously. In an
It's
animated
also kind of like
format,
Mad
it's
Hatter.
much
It's kind
better.
of like Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter has a lot of kind of absurd movements and all that, and so
Right.
I get
Exactly.
what you mean.
I mean, that kind of stuff is much better suited.
Oh yeah,
format.
and Batmite as well, and Batmite.
too. Yes.
Yeah.
These kinds of characters, while they're fun and entertaining, seeing them in the comics and in the animated shows, they only fit best, I would say, just in an animated format.
Yeah, a lot of things don't translate well to live action.
Exactly.
Well, also
Fuck you,
go harken back to like the Snyderverse, right? And Batman v Superman, when Superman gets hit by the nuclear bomb and he's up in space and you see him regenerating, they did it better in the Dark Knight Returns. They did way better in the Dark Knight Returns because he falls back to Earth and he literally drains the energy from the flowers.
He didn't just absorb the sun; he starts draining all of the life around him to be able to get that power, his life back. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
dude, and freaking
Well, I mean, also like you talking about like the fights and stuff. I mean, like if you have we were talking about this like earlier. Fucking in Justice League Unlimited, his fight with Darkseid at the end of that series, where he's literally punching through buildings of Metropolis.
Yeah. Right.
And we seen how he, Zack Snyder did an homage to that in Man of Steel when Superman was
Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman.
No.
Man of Steel and
Man of Steel.
Batman v Superman. In Man of Steel, when he's fighting Zod, you see him literally punching through buildings, multiple buildings. And
I thought it showed that in the second one too.
Yeah,
it did show it. It did show it in the Batman v Superman. It showed it from Bruce's perspective. It showed it from like what he saw and saw.
I fucked up the one. Go ahead, fam.
But it's like certain characters. Like we have to face it. Like if we ever get like Darkseid, he has to be heavily. It's got to be like a Thanos situation where he's going to be
heavily CG'd.
We did see Darkseid in the Snyder
cut. Yeah, he didn't do a lot.
Yeah, he was just standing there, and you did hear his voice in the director's cut, which Snyder cut. It was pretty cool, and he looked good in that movie, honestly.
However, if we could get like the guys that did Skeletor for Masters of the Universe to do like a comic book film, I think they probably could pull it off because we've seen how they did Skeletor.
Well, you see the love. You see the love to have for the characters too.
Right.
So I
Godzilla, Godzilla minus one. Yeah. Look at Godzilla minus one. How Godzilla was fucking real.
I will say this though. I do think that if CGI is applied right, you could do a lot of things with Superman that you could do in an animation, but you have to have passion. You cannot freaking conveyor belt this crap. You have to have passion and hard work, much like the team behind -1. You have to have a group of people who love what they're doing, and you could do it properly, but it will always work better in animation.
That's why the Marvel films have been suffering all these years.
Exactly.
Favreau had a love for Iron Man. You could see he doesn't have the love for the Mandalorian Grogu. You could see
they conveyor belt the animation too. They conveyor belt the animation for a lot of the newer movies too.
Well, they got shitty animators. They got shitty animators. Remember, they actually had to end up firing because there were more of them were activists than fucking people doing special effects.
One of the most horrific examples of this is in Love and Thunder when you see that floating kid's head, and it looked freaking. It looked so like crap. It looked like something you see in a 90s film. It looks like something you see in a 90s film.
I said hymnal, didn't I?
But like meant to be in a 2020 movie. It's like, bro, what the fuck is this shit?
We have watched movies from the 80s that have better special effects than the shit we got today.
And we watched animation from the 80s that had better animation.
So right about this.
We watched Akira. Akira had amazing animation that's better than a lot of stuff we see nowadays.
Freaking lutely Akira.
But like having said that, talking about good animation, what did y'all think of The movie we watched this week was Batman Superman movie World's Finest.
Justice for Mercy. Justice for Mercy.
Yes, Justice for Mercy. So first, let me say this because I don't know if we're going to bring this up at all since we are in the animated aspect. I know currently we have season 3 of My Adventures with Superman out right now.
It just started. First episode
just started.
Yeah.
It just started.
All I'm going to say is this. The first 2 seasons and this 3rd season, I don't give a shit about any of it. I don't care for any of it at all. It doesn't feel like Superman in any way, shape, or form. It feels like instead it's Sailor Moon with a Superman skin suit.
It feels like Huey. Huey, the hero.
Well,
I will
because
say
it's literally Huey voicing it.
No, it is. I know.
I want to say one thing. Can I say one thing? Don't you motherfuckers ever say that fucking He-Man, the He-Man Masters Universe, that fucking Adam's transformation was Sailor Moon-esque. It was not Sailor Moon-esque. If you ever watched this fucking trash, the My Adventures of Superman, literally the suit's in his fucking DNA. His eyes light up with glinting fucking sparkles, and the suit appears like fucking Sailor fucking Moon. I hate that fucking show.
Yeah, the whole magical girl stuff, yeah.
And in this new season, they all get fucking superpowers, for Christ's sake.
I don't know about that. So far, this first episode, it's literally just following Kara. It's like they're trying to move Superman out and put Kara in, is what it feels like.
Dude, she was Zod in the last season.
Yeah,
we all thought it was Zod, but it was her.
Guys. It was her Zodding because of being controlled by Brainiac.
Yeah.
So having said all of that, we have this absolute masterpiece that, like I said, I grew up watching. This one, the Superman the animated series, where we have
We all had seen it, right? Wasn't that what we come out to?
I've seen parts of it. I'm glad I got a chance to actually rewatch it again.
I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen it in.
You guys supposed to something over
a decade. Cool? No fan of.
You want to know how long I've had this? You want to know how long I've had this movie? This is the box I have it. It's got one of these.
Oh, one of those clips. The clipping ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have this. I do
not. I have it on my jelly fan. But nice. Let's start with Ronan. Your thoughts on this movie?
Oh, I was thoroughly entertained by it. I think it's great. It's a lot of fun. You see the dynamic between Superman and Batman, not just as their hero characters, but even as Clark and Bruce. Like, you see the way that these two play off of each other. And you see how it is they have to come together. They initially hate each other because Bruce is coming in trying to steal Lois away from Clark and everything, and Clark's trying to Clark's trying to like figure out what the heck's going on with like all these two villains coming together. But as time goes on, both of them start realizing that they do have to work together. And
champion, which part? The freaking Brokeback Mountain cowboy or that?
For all the weaknesses that they have, their strengths when they're together makes them completely unstoppable and unbeatable. And like it's really good. But obviously they also are like, maybe we should just stick to our own cities and kind of just keep it as such. But it's oh god, I love it so much.
This is what we
should. Fun movie. Dude, and the last thing I'll say is Justice for Mercy.
Justice for Mercy.
This is what Batman v Superman should have been. It should have been this movie,
like a standalone that could fit with both not organizations, both storylines. With you got Batman in this, you got Superman, and they didn't.
Right.
The thing that this did right was it kept it to a single story concept, while Batman v Superman was like, we're
single story, 4 characters.
We're gonna do a Death of Superman. We're gonna do They were like every story.
Girls.
That's fair, but dude, fuck. This one did it great because it kept it streamlined with one story.
Why'd you say that?
Why did you say that name? Freaking, but it kept it with one story, while freaking Batman v Superman was like, we're gonna do every freaking story, throw it into one movie, and just say, fuck it.
And don't forget, they've made Zod into Doomsday. Zod is not supposed to be Doomsday.
Don't remind me, Phantom. Don't remind me.
But
no.
my only problem with this movie is I don't like the Joker design because it's from the New Adventures
That's
of
fair.
Batman.
I think it's okay, but yeah, I agree with you. I
It's
prefer
passable.
the
It's
original
passable.
yellow eyes with the open
Yeah.
eye thing. I prefer the
So,
original.
I'll say this: like I said, I watched this almost probably about a decade ago, maybe a little longer. This movie was always one of my favorites, and it's always lived in like a memory. Every time I would think of Superman, I'm like, man, I gotta find this movie so I can watch it again. This was the first time in a long time that I've actually watched it, and I freaking loved it, dude. It is one of my favorite Batman Superman movies. And now there's quite a few animated Batman Superman movies, and there are a lot of good ones. But this one, personally, animation is great. Because it's hand-drawn animation.
It's from the 90s. Yeah, it's from
it's
92
hand-drawn,
and the 94
and
shows.
The dynamic between Batman and Superman is freaking excellent. Because at first, like, they don't trust each other. Then they slowly build up to become
best friends.
buddies. They become friends.
Yep.
And that's what I love about this movie, is because it has two characters that you think wouldn't work together well, mesh together pretty damn well.
Not even
dynamic.
that.
Yeah.
Not even that. The villains you think would not work well together and work well
100%.
together.
And again, justice for Mercy, because she got freaking beat around
Well,
every fucking scene.
Go off what
Harley
Aiden
didn't even get
said.
beat that bad.
No.
Well, you also got to look at this. This was the prelude to Justice League. Like, Justice League came out not too long after this.
It was a year later. A year later, Justice League came out.
And what was that's like they were already testing the waters to see if they can team up Batman and Superman. Could they do a Justice League show? And they did it very well. You know, like in this movie, voice acting, you got Clancy Brown, you got Tim
As Lex
Daly,
Luthor.
you got the great Kevin
Superman.
Conroy,
Yes.
As Batman.
rest in peace,
And
and called Mark Hamill for what he was. Mark Hamill is the
Joker.
he
Joker.
is this distinct Joker voice.
Yeah.
And
Politics
it's like-
aside, he is an amazing Joker. He is the Joker from our childhood.
Unless he plays
All of our
Skeletor and his Joker cosplaying as Skeletor. But, yeah, but I mean, this movie right here for me, I fucking watched this because
this was good.
the guys didn't even know this. So 2 of the episodes was on Batman. The other 2 episodes was part of Superman. So they what they did was they did the first 2 that were the Batman episodes, and then like the second part is all Superman. So they literally they have them like play off each other.
So 2 and 2. I thought it was 1,
Yeah.
2, 1, 2.
Good one, Ebola. Good
Yeah.
one, Ebola.
But like, yeah, Justice for Mercy, man, she got damn.
For anybody that's seen this movie,
Okay,
Mercy
so-
is the bodyguard
Yeah.
/ driver / personal assistant of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And the guys, Harley Quinn and everybody just kind of freaking beats her up and puts her to the side.
Batman's
Oh, girl.
backhand. Batman's
No,
backhand
backhands her
was
and
It's not,
slings
it's not
her
even,
across
it's
the
not
room.
even just it's not even just that. It's the fact that we all know how Joker treats Harley. We all know
Yes.
that she is treated like absolute shit by him. But
Not as bad as
damn,
Mercy.
Mercy got worse treatment from everyone.
no
She
best
was
scene in
a
the whole
literal punching bag.
best scene in the whole fucking movie. They're in fucking Joker's lair. Fucking Luthor sitting down talking to
Luthor and
Joker.
Joker are sitting-
And Mercy and Harley are just beating the hell out
shit
of
out of
each
each
other
other.
around the
Yeah.
fucking
Like they're having a civil conversation, and behind them is just the girls going, "I'll fuck you up, you bitch."
Damn it.
Like it's a metaphor.
It really is.
I think I mean like, like this movie's really good, and I think their movie, Public Enemy, was even better.
I enjoyed it.
I wouldn't say it's even better, but it's definitely on par.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's really good, but not. I don't think it is better.
This is
So,
iconic. This is iconic.
Well, okay, fine. We got that. So
That's true.
starting at bottom right here, what would you give the rating? Ronan.
I'm gonna give it
High
because sorry, I
performing.
was thinking. I'm giving it.
Thinking.
I'm giving it a nice 9 out of 10. Definitely a solid 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed
fair.
it, and it brought me back as a kid when I was watching it as well too, just because
Uh-huh.
of the lighthearted nature of the show and of this collab that was going on between Superman and Batman. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah,
Nice. Atomic.
bro. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Like I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 just because it is probably, I think, in animated movie form, and in fact in movie form, one of the best dynamics between Batman and Superman to date. It is one of the best film adaptations of these two characters' interactions that you could get, and it was just so freaking good from beginning to end. And now it is a technical 3-part miniseries, but it is 4-part. But it's still really freaking good because it fit in the movie format pretty damn well. And
we even got the commercial spots.
It's
Blackout.
I give it a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10, and I don't usually give 10 out of 10s, but like this one is it deserves it.
That's a nice one. For me, it's a 9.5. I'm right there with you on the 10. I want to be close to that. But my thing is it's a standalone story. It's a good story. It's an animated story. It did fine for animation. But the only thing that throws me off is just where do they go from there at that point is what I was wondering. Like, how do they build on this? Do they go forward? And we really didn't get any kind of payoff after this until the Justice League. And it felt kind of like when I was a kid, I'm just judging this by when I was a kid. I loved the Batman the animated series. I watched Superman the animated series, but not as much, not as religiously as I did Batman. And it just felt like with the changing of the animation and everything like that, it took me out of it. Like I love certain things about the new animation. The new Scarecrow was really, really freaking amazing.
Oh yes.
But it's just the new animation, like Phantom said, the look of the Joker kind of took me out a little bit. Voice acting, great, wonderful.
From all four of them.
Action
all four of
with
guys.
the story, but the story just kind of seemed like surface level. Like it really didn't go further, which I mean, it's animation at that point in the 90s, didn't really go that far anyway. But Batman the Animated Series was, and this was at the end of that. So it felt like they could have done a better inner story, I guess, with the characters or done more with them. But it's still good. Like 9.5. Like I don't give 10s hardly ever. I've got, I think 1, 2 movies I've got their 10s, but this one was just right. It's close. It's so close. So close.
Oh yeah.
Phantom, everybody ready? Hold up your hands.
Oh, it's definitely a 10 because the animation was crisp. It still holds up. The voice acting still holds up. The story is phenomenal.
The jokes landed.
Yeah, my only gripe is I don't like the look of the Joker because it is definitely from the New Adventures of Batman.
Well, let's be honest, that's like the 4 or 5 seasons of Batman series.
And Clancy Brown, fucking loved him as Luthor. Spot on. And also like there's foreshadowing like in this movie for like Luthor's kryptonite poisoning later on in Justice League because Batman finds out that there's low levels of radiation coming from kryptonite, and that does pay off in Justice League later on when Luthor gets sick from cancer because of the kryptonite. So they paid it off way back in this movie right here. I think the acting of all the voice actors was really, really, really fucking good. Story was phenomenal, and hands down, it's a 10 out of 10. Nostalgia, 10 out of 10.
100%. Like I like we all enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
And it was so much greater watching it with the guys. It was just so much greater.
I don't think that mattered to me at all, dude. I was enjoying myself without.
Same. It's a good movie through and through.
Like I don't have a 9 or 9.5 because of y'all. I've 9.5. Period.
Yeah.
And for those of you wondering, go ahead and show the picture. This is what the Scarecrow looked like in the latest series. Freaking so much better than they were.
Such an amazing design, bro.
It is
such a good
terrifying.
Like
it is
when I
terrifying.
saw that design as a kid, I nearly shat myself.
No, what was so bad about the original design? His bottom teeth were like out of his fucking mouth, and they were like
Uh-huh.
up against his nose and shit. Fucking
Right.
looked
Yeah.
shitty as
I
hell.
remember that.
Well, he was basically a goofy looking.
Dude, Killer Croc was better in the New Adventures. Also, Killer
Mhm.
Croc looked way better too. I think
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Joker was the
Scarecrow.
There I was
got a
chasing after
massive- a
Batman in the
massive upgrade.
quarry, and I'd
Oh,
almost surrounded him. What'd you do next? I threw a rock at him.
I
It was a
had
big
to-
rock.
I mean, even Mr.
oh yeah,
Freeze,
Solomon Grundy's design too was
Grundy's
awesome
design
as well.
was peak.
even
Go ahead.
fucking Mr. Freeze in the New Adventures got an upgrade.
Kind of
Okay,
like kind of
I
an
loved
off-topic
his-
thing, real quick, but I feel like Solomon Grundy is like one of the most underutilized villains when it comes to
He
Batman.
is.
I would love to see more of him, to
Absolutely
be
he
honest.
is.
But putting that aside, go ahead, AP.
Hold. I just want to add on to some before I go into my actual point. Solomon Grundy in the Stargirl show looked great.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember that. He looked freaking great in that
Shitting
show.
Gotham.
I didn't watch the Stargirl.
Shitting Gotham.
I
Shitting
only
Gotham.
only watched the first season. That's all I remember of it. But the first and few episodes of the the second season. But he looked phenomenal in that, and they were building up to him from like season 1 all the way up to where he was revealed. And it was great reveal. But I want to go on and just say specifically about Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze had a great design in the original animated series, but his design was improved in the New Adventures with Batman.
Yeah,
And
it
dude,
was just the head. It was just this head
Yeah.
that was alive. Yeah.
yes, and dude, holy crap! Like again, I'm trying to remember the name of the episode of his first episode. It was like a Heart of Ice, all right?
Yeah.
That's the first
and-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first one he appeared in. One of the best freaking Mr. Freeze stories I've ever encountered. It is so freaking good.
Now, I do have to say, like, in the Batman later on, I like that Mr. Freeze also because literally the ice was, instead of him having that dome, it was the ice that formed up around his head was pretty cool. But yeah, fucking love Batman.
I will
love the
say-
characters.
We should probably go back to Superman because this is about
No,
Superman.
yeah,
of
course.
But yeah, no, still, it's
Well,
all the
that's
designs. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing though. It's like Batman v Superman. You're gonna get us talking about Batman too. 'cause
Oh, yeah,
we're
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
Yeah,
fans
no, of course.
I think we all have as much love for Batman as we do as Superman.
Exactly.
Yep.
So going back to Superman, then let me ask this question to you: what do you want to see, and what do you expect to see going forward from Superman in media?
Now, when you
Go ahead.
Okay,
No, go
when you
ahead.
say what do you expect to see? Do you mean kind of like what is it that we are expecting the
From the
studios and the
Gunverse.
studio heads to
From the
do?
Gunverse.
Right. Okay.
Not a
All
lot.
right. Well, let's get the negatives out of the way then first. At least
Okay, so it's
what
gonna be
I
another
perceive are
3-hour
the
show.
negatives. What I expect to see out of the Gunverse is it's just going to be more of the continuous, funny quirk chungus deconstruction of the character. Basically, that is ultimately what is happening. It's a
Mhm.
deconstruction while the man's trying to attempt to reconstruct the character. But all he's
You
really
don't think Man
doing,
of Tomorrow is going to be a course correction?
I don't feel that Man of Tomorrow may be a course correction. Perhaps it might seem as though that's the case.
I'll
And we have
say
seen, hold on, EP, hold on.
Yeah.
And then we've also seen the fact that, like, yes, fine, in terms of costume design, they seem to be doing a pretty close job with Lex Luthor actually wearing
Oh,
the
yeah,
armored
that's what I was
suit
gonna
and
say.
everything, which is good. Fine, you're getting close to that. But physical appearances is one thing. I care more about the ethos and the mindset of the characters. That's what I care more about, is whether you're able to actually embody that correctly.
Mhm.
Based off of what
100%.
we saw with 2025 Superman, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't think that they're going to continue onwards with that. I think that James Gunn's going to keep going with however he feels Superman should represent, however he feels Superman should
No, you
act.
can't- yeah.
What I would love to see for Superman going forward from here. Let's get it out of the way first. True Justice and the American Way. That's Superman.
Bingo.
The American
Okay,
way back
that
into it.
needs to come back.
Absolutely.
Whether you have him say it or you have him live it, it needs to come back. That's what needs to come back
The Americana
first and
aspect.
foremost. And that's the most important aspect because that is what Superman is.
Mhm.
What I would personally like to see myself, and this is just a little bit of me being selfish. Shut up, Phantom. I'm almost done. What I'd like to see is, and I know some people might be a little like, I don't know if we should do that. I would like to see some continuations on the religious undertones that exist with Superman. You know,
Strong religious overtones.
the I am Jesus. I am Jesus.
That's what it was.
I like the concept of it because again, it's the idea of Superman.
It makes
being,
sense. It makes sense. It doesn't have to be blatant.
Yes, not
No.
not blatant, not overbearing, but just something that shows that Superman again is a character that embodies the best of man, the best of people, somebody you can look up to, somebody you can aspire to, you know. And that even includes the concept too of Superman just simply being a friend. You know, all the grandiose religious perspectives aside, a lot of people always look
Golden
to
Girls is goated.
and not to try and make the connections, but a lot of people always look to Jesus as a friend as well too. You know, so sometimes that's all that we need.
We're Christians here, or he is to us.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right,
AP, go ahead.
Oh, I was good because I know Phantom was.
He likes going last. That's why I always make him go last.
Okay, so you want to go last?
I'll go last.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I just want to say so. What I want to see is pretty much Americana Superman, like so, and I'll explain this by the idea I had for the first Superman movie. So I wanted it to open kind of respecting, you know, that iconic originals of Superman, how he couldn't really fly, he had to only leap buildings in a single bound, and all that stuff like that. I wanted to have this opening like, you know, a kind of like how in Spider-Man, in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, you get kind of like, you know, a bunch of like superhero montages, kind of in a sense. I wanted that with like Superman. You see, like, but there's like news clippings and reports of this superhero, Superman, and from the Daily Planet, watching freaking, you know, being watched by Lex Luthor. He and all that. That's what I wanted. Where you see him like he's fighting. What is that freaking gorilla he fights? The first villain, not Grodd. Not Grodd.
The one that's got the giant brain.
Yes, I don't remember his name. But you guys know who I'm talking about. He's
High Evolutionary. No.
That's from Marvel. Yeah.
Goddamn, what is his name?
Let's.
It's not Solar.
No, it's not. It's Ultra Humanite. Ultra Humanite.
Oh yeah.
Ultra Humanite is who I'm talking about. So one thing I wanted was him not to be the first villain, but in the montage, that's the first villain you see Superman fighting, and that's where he's kind of that's the first because like he's just saves a bunch of people, saves, you know, kind of how he does in the comics, in the original comics, how he saves and like stops murders and all that. He's kind of doing the thing, and then Ultra Humanite comes on scene, and that's where Superman kind of is a little reckless because it's the first superpowered human he fights. So not human, but being he fights that caused him to like, you know, launch into buildings, a little more destructive. But he learns from that. But Lex Luthor's watching this and he thinks, well, Superman is absolutely being reckless and he's danger to humanity because of how reckless he is. And he ignores the fact that Superman has been ever since more aware of his surroundings and more prepared to fight other superhuman beings. And I just wanted to harken back and respect the original the original version of Superman and have it to where in this new version he flies. He starts to fly, and instead of he becomes the being who leaps buildings in a single bound, he becomes the flying Superman we all know today. And that's kind of like respecting and then slowly transitioning into what Superman is today. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted for Superman. That's all I want is just respecting Superman.
You know, something.
If you want to see Phantom, go watch the movie Mallrats.
Do you guys just notice how fucking AP's voice just like?
I saw it. Yeah, that's all I wanted. That's all I want.
Mine's simple. Mine's simple. Okay. I want a Superman movie about Superman.
Yeah.
the Superman world. I don't
Mhm.
want other characters. I want a movie about Superman's world. Give me that.
That's the point.
Mm,
That's the point.
okay.
That's all I want.
For-
Just
for-
a quick thing that I noticed is this show Stargirl, because you guys talked about it before. It
Yeah.
has a lot of
Mhm.
characters from Superman's Rogues Gallery. Like I
It-
noticed
it-
it has
yeah,
Ultra
it
Human
does.
in it,
Yes,
and that's
it absolutely
interesting.
does.
But
You have
okay,
a,
go
you
ahead.
have a
I never
green,
watched
you have
it,
a,
by
you
the
have a
way.
female Green Lantern in it too. But for me, give me a good
There are
Luthor.
flaws.
Give me a menacing Luthor, not this pansy, fucking scrawny ass, skinny
I think
ass
Nicholas
motherfucker.
Hoult could have been a good Lex Luthor if they had told
Yes.
him to be more serious.
Yeah,
I feel like he could have been a good Lex
Okay.
Luthor. He was not a good Lex Luthor. I feel like he could
No.
have been.
He was a good casting choice for Lex Luthor, but not a good portrayal.
No,
Give
100%. Yeah.
give me Superman. Give me Superman where there's stakes on the line, right?
Yes.
Give me a good origin. You know, you could tweak it a little bit. Give me,
So you want the origin
I don't blame you,
story
dude.
back.
yeah. But my thing is like, Lois should not know he's Superman till later on.
100%.
No, I agree. I
absolutely.
agree on that.
Movie 3, movie 4.
That should be something that's built up. That should be something that's absolutely
shit,
built up.
Lily,
so you can appreciate the relationship even more.
You know how they should do it?
Aunt May finding out about Spider-Man in the new series. Perfect.
The
That
thing
was
is,
great.
the thing is, the way they should do it, it should be in a movie where it's going to be the death of Superman, because that's how Lois finds out he's Superman, is right before he
Yes.
gets killed by fucking Doomsday.
Yeah.
That's
and
how she fucking finds out.
It's one of the most tragic moments in their relationship is because of that.
Yeah.
Now, are we expecting to get any of this? Nope.
Fuck
No.
No.
So
No.
we're going to finish out with one last question, and hopefully y'all been thinking about this. If you could change or add one thing to Superman in media, what would you do with Superman? What would you add or change?
He'd use
Get a
guns.
bear-
I'm kidding.
Get a better director.
Fair.
Who would you want to direct, Phantom? Who would you want to direct a Superman movie?
Oh God! If you want to do like a good one, I still would love to see what Tim Burton would have done with Superman.
Fair.
He did well with Batman '89. I won't lie to
Yeah,
you.
and we almost got that. But I really don't know. Like, I really don't know.
I say this. Henry Cavill.
You want
Yep.
Henry Cavill back?
He's a deep appreciation for Superman. He could just simply overlook as like an executive producer. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Executive producer guiding a director.
No, I got one better. If he was
Steve
still alive, and he was able to walk around and stuff,
Damn
there's
you!
free.
That was my answer.
Yes.
They were supposed to make Superman 5. They were in the
Yeah.
works of writing
Yeah.
Superman 5,
Mhm.
and he
Yep.
got in that accident.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were going to give him a movie to end out on his Superman career, and
Yeah.
that was my answer. Was I'd make
Yeah.
that accident never happen so he could walk,
Yep.
so he
Oh,
could
yeah,
be
dude.
Superman one last time. That was my answer. Ronan,
Oh man.
and that's our show. I'm just kidding. If you got nothing, it's okay.
I mean,
Somebody stole mine right here.
aside from like the minor religious undertones being added to it, it's hard to really
Mel
see.
Gibson.
That's why nerd
Oh,
divergent.
Passion of the Superman.
I don't know, bro. Mel Gibson's
Okay,
Superman.
hold on.
We
Hold on. I wanna
might
say- I
see,
wanna say something.
we
I
might
just wanna
see
say
something
something
weird
quick.
happening in Israel.
I
That's
just
all
want
I'll
to say.
leave.
I just want to say something. If Mel Gibson were to do a Superman movie, the amount of shit that freaking Jim Caviezel went through playing Jesus, I would feel bad for the guy to play Superman. Holy
Oh,
crap.
hey, fucking Mel Gibson would be a good Jor-El. He would be a phenomenal Jor-El.
I can see it.
I'll
Absolutely see it, yeah.
defend Snyderverse for that.
Yes.
Russell Crowe as Jor-El
Yes.
was great.
As
Oh,
Jor-El, that was
Him in the
such a
ship
good one.
helping Lois was fucking phenomenal. I got
Yeah.
that scene.
I love that.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. He was a great casting. That was
But that's our show, Phantom.
All right, everybody. So we're gonna go around the horn and see what everybody's gonna be doing this coming up week. And Campy is going, and when it's Campy's turn, he's gonna let you know what we're gonna be doing next week because next week is gonna be Father's Day weekend. We got something very special for that. So Atomic, what you got going on?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, Atomic Patriot, where I do upload videos from Monday through Friday. I know how to speak. And I do pop culture and current day events, mostly science and stuff like NASA related. And I also do a Wednesday interview series where I just interview people and have fun with that. And I don't really think I have a guest this week right now, but I will have a guest next week. And I will also say that you can also find me on X.
Yourself.
Yeah, interview myself. Just boom, boom.
How are you, Atomic? I'm doing good.
But you can also find me on X, where I offend a lot of people, and I'm apparently pretty good at it because a lot of people get mad and they block me. So, but you can also find me on Critic List, where I do occasional movie reviews. I will be doing a movie review for World's Finest. I also got to do a movie review for Master Universe, and also you find me on Kick, where I still do nothing. I will also say this: I'm repping the merch. Buy the merch because the merch is freaking awesome.
Buy the merch.
And absolutely, because we specifically buy the Don't Be Gay Campia and Phantom shirts.
Buy the Phantom shirt.
Buy the Campia shirt. Ronan, what you got going on?
Yes. So yesterday I streamed my end of Among Us with the gaming night that we homies do. It felt nice to actually be able to do a little bit of streaming again. I was able to. I pushed myself on trying to do that.
And you didn't fuck up.
I figured it out.
He didn't rage quit.
I figured it. God damn it. Anyways, yes, tomorrow you can catch me on Isaac's channel for the Golden Age podcast, or as we like to say, the Golden Shower podcast. Okay. Throughout the rest of the week, when I can try and fit a good time to stream, and I'm going to make sure that I actually do fit a good time to stream, I will be streaming Resident Evil Requiem again. You can catch me as well with the homies on Friday nights, where we do the watch along for the matinee show on Sunday. I will let Phantom, you be the one, or Campia, whichever one of you wants to say what it is we're doing. But aside from that, I also have my usual link tree where I got all my different links. I got a YouTube, which is Ronan the Crusader. I got a Kick, which is Ronan the Crusader. I got an X, which is Ronan_Crusader7, a little different there. And soon enough, I will have a Rumble, which is Ronan the Crusader. Shut the fuck up, Phantom. I'm done with my outro.
Campia, what you got going on and what we're going to be doing next week?
Okay, I am M. Campy Ufan. I'm your Sugar Honey Iced Tea member of the GCA and for the homies. You can find me on X. You can find me on Criticalist. You can find me here with the homies every week. This week's movie is Year to the Day. We're going to be watching K-Pop Demon Hunters. We'll be reviewing its year in review. It's been 1 year exactly since K-Pop Demon Hunters came out. So we're going to watch that with the homies and talk about it from year. I know these guys, I didn't really care for the movie, but it's grown on me over time. The music especially has.
Oh, yes.
But it's a movie that they want to do.
Special guests.
Enjoy.
We got special guests that week.
Did we have a special guest this week?
Yeah, Ebola.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ebola.
I forgot.
He truly is a special guest.
Booming Bob, Atomic Ebola,
Light and Shadow,
Ebola,
whatever you want to call this guy.
Gay and Phantom.
Yeah,
Howard Winter.
But he will be joining us for that review. And if you like the movie, you just want to watch with a couple of idiots, come join us Friday night where we'll be watching it once again.
Bro.
And Thursday, Phantom will finish us out. Or we'll do Saturday is gaming, right? Yeah, Saturday will be gaming again, Among Us.
Yes.
And then Sunday will be matinee. Phantom, go ahead.
Yeah, so for myself, I am going to be working on my opinions of the Gears of War E-Day trailer, the thing that happened just last weekend. This week, we do have a special guest for the Homies podcast. I can't say who it is yet because we still haven't got confirmation yet, which we should have already had. Also, Monday nights, we throw a movie on. Right around close to the end of the time of ABS Off the Hip.
Yeah, we just watching stuff for fun. So join us there if you want to.
Wednesday night we do anime homework, which we're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. And that's pretty much it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all the gifted memberships that we received last night on the gaming
Shout out
stream.
all 40 of y'all that got memberships.
Mhm.
So what I'm doing is
Drunk with you,
normally
mic
I
and
would
blow.
have I would have a thing at the end of this. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna upload a video giving out a shout out to everybody that got gifties in these last few months since we've been monetized. So thank you guys for supporting us. We couldn't do this without you. Till next time, I'm Phantom X. He's Liquid, a Patriot, whatever this weirdo is next to me. He's running the Rage Quitter Crusader. And we got the Dollar Tree Rey Mysterio, Campia. We're the homies, and we'll see you guys Thursday night for the Homies podcast. Have
Like
a
the
great
stream,
rest of your
homies.
day.
Like the stream, homies.
Like the streams, homies,
Buy
and
the merch.
buy the merch.
Buy the merch.
Bye,
Don't be gay,
everybody.
Phantom.
And before I leave, I'd like to say, yes, He-Man can kick Superman's ass. Just saying.
Bullshit.
Don't be gay, Phantom.
Don't be gay.
Don't be gay, everybody.